So we're going to strip this washing machine down into its component parts. This particular model is a WIL143S 1400 spin. It does actually work okay, but on a spin cycle it makes a lot of banging, so invested in a new one. It's 15 years old. So one of the first things I'm going to do on the rear, I'm just going to unscrew these screws here. There's two holding the top on, and there's also some screws on this back panel which I'm going to take off as well. So that's going to be the first job. So once you've removed the back panel, it reveals the sort of flywheel and the motor. Also the element here as well. There's two connectors on the element, and there's like a compression rubber in there, which is what seals the element. So when you unscrew this bolt, it releases the compression rubber, and then you'll be able to pull it out. So I'll take the belt off. That's quite an easy job. You just pull it, pull the belt, and that comes off. Simple. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to undo these fittings here. Now they're actually I forget what they are now, a T15 bit. There it is, T15. Take those off, and then I'm going to undo the screws under here. There's 1, 2, 3 screws in the top. I'm going to pull this out as well. This should just pull out. There we go. And then the 2 screws on the top. Should hopefully help me take this front panel off. There is a little power connector which goes onto the PCB at the back. That just pulls off. There's a little clip. In fact, I'll pull that off now. It's a bit difficult to do it with one hand. But yeah, you pull that to one side. Oop, and then it comes off. So that's the front panel off. Those 5 screws. Remember, be a little more careful with the clip. I did actually break that clip, but it will still work. Just be a little more careful than what I was. This is going to the tip, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm now going to take off this soap drawer, which, if you can see down here, there's a little rubber loop. You just got to take that off. There's also some electrical connectors here. 1, 2, 3, and on the back you'll see that there's 3 screws. 1, 2, 3 screws. So I'm just going to do that now. Let the clips, let's just pull away and just pull out. Quite easy. Take pictures if you're unsure when you're putting it back together. next bit is to remove, there's a piece of wire with a bit of, with a spring here, so that you can remove the sort of locking wire which holds the rubber bit in place. So that's the next step. If you just stretch this spring, as you can see, it just comes off like that. Quite easy really. And that's all that is. And then the drum just pulls off. Sorry, the rubber pulls off. Just very easy. And now the drum is detached from the outer case, and it comes off quite easily from the drum here as well. It just pulls off. There's nothing locking that. Yeah, there is a spring holding the rubber on. So yeah, you just have to remove that as well. So there is one at the front and there's one at the back. Bear that in mind. So the next thing is just to detach this plug from this. I assume this is like a pressure switch. I'm not quite sure what it is. There's a little clip here, so you can just take this off, and it is attached to the washing machine. So it just means you can pull the drum out without it being attached to that. In fact, I'll probably pull that off. Pull that pipe off here and keep that separate, just so it's out of the way. So the next job is we're going to be removing the drum in one lump. So I'm going to have to undo the two screws where the water pump is, so that that's detached from the case. And then what I've done, because I'll have to push this onto the side, I've just popped a lump of wood in the side there, so that when you tip it on the side it doesn't put pressure on your springs, mainly this one, and your dampers at the bottom. There's two dampers at the bottom as well, which you can't see at the moment, but you will when it's on its side. So yeah, so that just protects your springs and your dampers. It's a bit crude, but it works. Just before you remove the drum though, you're going to need to just disconnect the wiring. So you've got connection to the motor here and an earth. There's a little screw here that's going to need to come off, and the wires off the element. There's 4 wires on there. There's the element connectors, the earth, and there's a little blue connector with a clip on it, so you'll need to remove them as well. Yeah, so I'm just going to remove the element. As we're down here, just going to remove that blue clip, remove that, remove that. Now this here is the compression, pulls a plate at the back and compresses a rubber. So what you've got to do is you've got to undo this nut here, like that. And what that does is it just releases the rubber plate. So undo that nut and just tap it in, and then that will allow you just to pull the element out. It's quite stiff. Well, that was a bit of a tight fit, but it's tight because it has to seal. As you can see, there's a rubber in here, and this plate moves up and down, and as you tighten this nut, it swells the rubber to create the seal. And there's also, this is, I'm assuming, your thermostat switch, which controls the element. That just pushes in there, which is what that little blue connector was. So yeah, that's how to get the element out. I did have a bit of a wrestle with it, but some screwdrivers just levering it out. Obviously you don't want to damage this, because this is where your seal is. But yeah, easy peasy. So as you can see here, we've got a water pump here, which is attached by 2 screws at the front, and you've got your 2 dampers, which are here, held on by 2 nuts, one there and one up there. And we've also got the motor, which is held on by three nuts with like a rubber damper. So the motor will just come off in one go with those three bolts. And then you've got your drain that comes out of your sump, and that's just held on by a little circlip type thing here, and a compression clamp which just compresses and you take that off. Very simple. Just going to take off the water pump. I'm in a confined space, so that's why I'm struggling. That just goes down there, comes off. There's a little power connector, and that just comes off. And then there's another compression fitting on the drain, which just got to take off. Trying to do it without getting my head in the way. There we go, and that's your drain off. So now your water pump is completely free of any pipes. So I'm just going to undo the 2 front screws. 1, 2. And that twists off. And there is your water pump. Simple. Just a little thing, I always tend to put the screws back in where they belong so that they don't go missing, so, and you know exactly where they go. So yeah, it's just a little tip. I've just undone the 3 nuts that hold the motor on, so they're free. And if you can see here, there's a rubber bush, and you just tap out the bolt. Now be careful, the motor does weigh a bit, and you need to do that for all 3. There's one in the bottom here, so that needs tapping. And there's one just, I'm not sure if you can see that there. Just there. Just needs tapping out. And that's your motor out. And there's your motor with your bushes and your bolts. So they just pull out. And that's how you remove the motor. Very simple. I'm just undoing these damper bolts. Which is the 10mm, it's a 10mm socket for all of these nuts for the motor. 10mm, now that's off. I should just pull out. There we go, So there are your dampers. And now there's nothing left holding the whole drum in, and all you do is just pull it straight out from the top. On this particular model there's no front to take off, it's just one unit, so what you have to do with the drum is literally slide it out. There's nothing else holding it in. Apart from these springs on the top, if you just pull it, that will release your top springs. Take your plastic clips off as well, so you don't break them. Another spring. And another plastic clip. And take pictures so that you know where everything goes before you take it all off, unlike what I've done. And then the whole drum will just pull out on the top. Like so. So here we have it, your washing machine stripped down into all its bare components. Water pump, motor, springs, soap dispenser, element, pressure switch, control panels, and here you've got the drum with the dampers. Once the drum's out, it's pretty easy to unbolt things. I've actually replaced the bearing on this spider at the back, but that wasn't the fault, it didn't fix it. There's something in the drum, I think, that's rattling around. But once again, I couldn't find a video of someone stripping one down completely. So I hope this helps a few people out. Hit the like button if you like it. Hope that helps everyone.